I hope that's it.
After doing one final coat on the roof to cover up the blue overspray in my last video, I finally decided that it was time to be done with the painting and take the plastic off. Yes, I'm wearing a hair wrap here. I had a very hard time deciding if we should just go ahead and be done with the painting or if I wanted to do a final coat on the blue to fix a tiny bit of a mottled look that it had going on. And at this point, I just couldn't be bothered to remove my hair wrap. So it is what it is.
What are you doing?
Do I look like I've been crying?
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's part of the process. You got the frustrating bits.
With the frustrating decision-making bits over, it was time for some satisfying tape pulling.
Oh, Quincy.
That was pretty good. Wow. Well, everybody come look at it with the, gloss and semi-gloss look.
I think it looks cool.
I think it looks fine, bro.
Got a little bump right there.
Shut your mouth.
I was surprisingly pretty happy with the results of our DIY paint job. This was the first time that any of us had painted a car, and it's the first time using like a spray gun and this brand of paint, and everything turned out as well as I could have hoped. It was also really fun to remove the paper and tape from the windows. Some spots were a bit tricky, and I ended up using a razor blade just to cut through the paint. We also removed the tape from all of the fixtures and everything, and it was ready to be put back together.
Ooh.
The roof also looked good still, which I was very happy about. You could not see the blue at all under the last coat of white that we did. Here's some of the spots that I ended up using the razor blade on. I just wanted to show you what it looked like before. And also that this was not a perfect paint job. Some tape did rip off, but it was on an under edge that you wouldn't see, and I wasn't too terribly worried about it. Since most of the lines looked very good and the colors were great, and I was pretty proud of the work we had done. And here he is in all of his painted glory. Next came the deceivingly difficult task of putting back on all of the lights, headlights, taillights, blinkers, the headlight bezels and covers, and all of its little trim and accessories. And as you can see, we had everything labeled and in bags with all of the screws that they needed, but it was really hard to do for some reason. We started with the grill on the front of it and then later realized that we had forgotten to add an inside piece. So we had to take it back off, put the inside piece on, and then put it back on later on. During most of these tasks, I was the all-important screw holder, but sometimes I also got to be the screw fastener. When putting on these taillights, we realized that we didn't make a note as to which color would be on top, the white or the yellow. So we had to look up some reference photos, and I'm pretty sure we got it right, but next time we'll try to mark that down. Looks like I forgot to tape us putting on its little headlight bezels and eyelids, but here it is looking all cute along with the side blinkers on the front. When we went to put the hubcaps on, I realized that they were looking really cloudy and figured out that it was overspray from the white spray paint. So I just got a cloth with some acetone and was able to buff it out pretty good back to its original shiny state, like so. And I did that to all of them before we went around and put them back on the tires by just tapping around the edges and trying not to dent it. The part that gave us the most trouble was actually the bumper, because it had these two screws in the middle of the bumper that were supposed to fit into these holes, and they were completely unnecessary. So we ended up cutting them off after many failed attempts to put the bumper on with them. So here they are cut off, and then it went on no problem, and we were able to tighten everything down just like it needed to be.
So stupid. Why was that there?
That one.
Woohoo! Oh my gosh.
Those two freaking piece of crap.
Two dumb screws. Hell yeah. My gosh, that was so nice.
For the back bumper, we had to start by putting these very heavy metal brackets into the bumper itself. So they just set right in here and line up with these little holes. And then we used all of our screws and nuts to tighten it in here. Here's one of the best teachers I know explaining it a little bit better, and me being amazed by simple mechanics.
I just got that little square,
Yes, I see what you're talking about.
and you'll line a square up.
Okay.
And then that way this doesn't spin as you're tightening the
So
nut on
it'll
the back
sit in this
side. It
little
sits in that little, right.
pocket.
So what we do,
Just nudge it, yeah.
so the factory, let me go over some. There we go. The factory bolt will go through there. And then if you don't got the nut lined up, it'll stay up like that.
Okay.
When you spin the nut and get it lined up, it should drop in there smooth.
Yeah. That's nice.
There it is. There. And then on the back side, we'll do a washer. A lock washer.
It's a lock washer.
The one with the split in it.
Oh, these had lock washers?
I thought they did.
I don't think they do. I think that's for the big ones.
Big ones? Okay. Well, we got new lock washers. Let's do it. Lock washer. And then the nut.
What does a lock washer do?
It helps keep that nut tight
Okay.
to where it won't back out. And then we'll
Tighten them up.
Yeah, and you don't even have to hold that side because
Wow.
that nut inside there, but we want those on the, oh, that is the top side.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
Well, that's nice.
and we're not gonna tighten them up till we get all
All
four
four.
of them in, because this will have to be moved around a little bit.
All right.
This ended up being easier said than done because it is an old car and things are warped and bent and corroded and rusty when they weren't when it was originally put together. So we ended up having to do a lot of nudging with the rubber mallet to get things to line up just right while I held the bolt in place and put some pressure on it to get it through. And at one point I had the idea to use a hammer and hit it at the same time, and that ended up working great.
Maybe I should hit it with a hammer. I'm
Yeah,
not
there you
pressing it
go.
hard enough.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh, I almost did it.
It did it.
It did it. That was the least ridiculous one yet.
This one. Locky washer.
Once all of the bolts were in place and in their proper places, we went through and tightened everything up with a ratchet wrench to make sure that nothing would move around once the bumper was attached to the frame. Wanted to show y'all that also some of the bolts were completely corroded or rusted through, and that's okay, we just replaced them with new ones.
Yeah, which way is it gotta go? In and up?
Up for sure, and I think my way a little. Sometimes. Right here.
All right, you can let go of your end now.
Okay. It'll be like that.
Oh, okay.
That one, right? Yes.
After using a jack to help get the bumper into place and take the weight off of us, I just tightened up the screws. That sounds very simple. This angle makes it look very simple. It was not. Stuff was falling into my face the whole time. It was hard to get the ratchet wrenches up into where they needed to go because of the angles and all the old workings going on down there. It was harder than this makes it look, but it is done, and that's what matters. And then came our next problem.
Gonna be trying to crank it up. First time in like a year, maybe more.
Ready?
Yep.
Nope, no locks whatsoever.
Well, that's probably the battery then, right? That's what I was afraid of.
All right, so now we need to take the battery out.
I hooked up a battery tender to it overnight and then went to check in the morning, and bad news.
Uh-oh.
What?
Still says charging. That's not a good sign. Nothing? Damn.
We ended up buying a brand new battery and replacing it, which took way too long to finagle it in this little spot, and then tried it again.
Attempt number 3.
All right, let's see if we got lights. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah?
With the work done and Vinny finally running again, all we had to do was take it off of these dollies that it had been sitting on for the past year or so, and then it was ready to go.
Almost. That wood snapped. There you go. Almost. There we go.
I was was too scared to drive it home, but fortunately Brad was not, and it was a lovely day, so it was a really nice ride. Everything went very smoothly. And here it is in all its glory. Overall, I think it looks really great. The paint came out really nice considering that I have no idea what I'm doing. And the dents are filled, except for this one on the front right there. You can see it, but it doesn't bother me. I'm going to replace its little eyelids there and get a little VW emblem for the front. I'm really happy with it. Look how cute it is. Next up, interior.